Welcome to Credit Monster, where high limits are achievable and bad credit is beatable. It's your boy Daquan back at it again. We have a heavy hitter that we have to talk about today. It's called the Petal Credit Card. So it's two different credit cards in this line. It's the Petal 1 and it's the Petal 2. They're very similar, but the best thing about this credit card is that you could get approved for up to $10,000. Yes, $10,000. So another thing about this card is that you could just get pre-approved, meaning you have a great chance of an actual approval after the application. And a pre-approval is just a soft pull on your credit, meaning there's no hard inquiry. It's not going to drop your score down a bit. It's just a soft pull. They just look at some information and then they tell you if you're likely to be approved based on the things that they see. And it's not a guarantee, but it's about a 90% chance that you'll get approved if you did go through that pre-approval process and they let you know that you will be qualifying for one of their products. Now, the difference between the two, Petal 1 and 2, is that the Petal 1 just has a lower max. So I think the max on Petal 1 is about $5,000 and the max on Petal 2 is $10,000. Both of them have no fees, no like annual fees. There may be like late fees or chargeback fees if you're late or if you charge back, but if you here at the Credit Monster, you're learning how to budget, you're learning how to pay your bills on time, so you really wouldn't have no issues with that. There's no other fees with this card. You do get cash back, which is awesome. Credit score qualifications. You should be applying for this card if you have between a 630 and above. So you don't have to have perfect credit to get approved for this card, but I say the minimum would be about 630. If you have about a 630, then see if you get pre-qualified. Another few things that you may want to consider before going ahead and getting yourself pre-qualified or pre-approved, is you want to make sure that you don't have any collections or charge-offs on your credit report that has a balance on it. Now, it's okay to have the collections and charge-offs, but if they're paid off, that's good. If they are not paid off, then that's bad. More than likely, they will decline you, especially if you have charge-offs from other credit card companies that you haven't paid yet. That is almost an instant decline with most credit card companies. So you want to actually make sure you get that removed or you pay it off. And if you ask me, if you are planning on paying off, make sure you pay it off with a removal. That's just my opinion. You don't want to go into the application process with those derogatory statements on your credit report. Another thing you want to be mindful of is if you have any late payments or anything within the past year, you want to wait. You want to wait until that late payment is older than a year. And that's very conservative. If you look at the Google, it would say between 6 to 9 months, but that's pushing it. I say wait a whole year if you have a late payment, a recent late payment on a credit card, on a car payment, whatever the case may be. You don't want to apply for credit with a recent late payment. The reason being is it makes it seem like you're desperate for money. And if you're desperate for money, that's a higher risk to the bank. And the bank and they don't want to take on that risk. Your financial behavior could be risky for them, and you don't want to portray that. You don't want to make it seem like you're desperate for money and you're going to use this credit card to pay off some financial obligations that you cannot afford, and then you can't pay them back. That is their worst fear. So if you have a late payment within the past 12 months, you either want to wait or you want to get that late payment removed with the late payment removal process, and that's disputing the late payment and getting a method of verification, and I have a whole video on that somewhere else. So, but this card will almost guarantee to increase your credit score once you get approved for it, because this is an unsecured credit card. No matter what the limit is, if you start off at 500, you could wait 6 to 9 months. Your credit score should have increased by then, and then you could go ahead and call them for a line increase, and they will normally oblige to that and give you that line increase. You could do that every 6 months to a year. Okay, you want to do that with basically with all your unsecured credit cards. You want to increase the credit limit as much as you can. Now keep in mind, this is relative to your credit score and your income. Okay, so if you only make 30,000 a year, it's very unlikely that they're going to extend $10,000 on a line of credit to you. But if you make about $50,000 to $70,000 a year, then you're more likely to get those higher credit limits. And keep in mind, most of the time on the application, make sure it says household income. So that's the income between you and your spouse or whoever's in the house. That's what they mean. It's not just your income, it's the household income. So don't just put your income. If you are married, you want to put your wife's income or your husband's income in there as well. Have the chance of getting higher limits. I hope that was very informative. I'm going to put a link in the description below so you could go ahead and get pre-approved. Make sure you get pre-approved before you actually commit to the application, because you don't want to waste your time and get denied and then having to get a pesky inquiry off your credit score. And please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers. And once I get 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a special live stream where y'all could ask me anything y'all want. So make sure y'all get the likes up, the subscribes up, and share so we could get more subscribes. And I catch y'all on the next one. Peace.